It's pre-dawn here in Houston. I'm going to get ready to do a jog right after I'm done with this video, and then it's time to start the second day of this conference that I'm at. And I'm actually speaking at the conference as well, too. Now, I don't do a lot of conference speaking. I have a lot of other things that I need to be doing, but I do like to, on occasion, talk about my knowledge, my experience, and all of that. And I haven't always been doing this, because you have to have knowledge and experience in order to actually talk about your knowledge and experience. My first conference that I spoke at was, I believe, in 2000, which, if you count when I first started as a student assistant, was about 10 years into my career. I didn't go full-time in the career until 1993, right after I graduated from college, which is where we pick up here. I had graduated with my undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering and pretty much had my hopes dashed about getting the job that I thought I was going to get, and that was for the brass company as a mechanical engineer, preventative maintenance engineer, which I guess opened up other opportunities. I had applied and had interviewed, I think, at a few other jobs for mechanical engineering, and they didn't produce a job offer as well. But the University of Buffalo was hiring for a network technician full-time. And I thought, well, this would be a good opportunity to work full-time and continue my education in electrical engineering, eventually with the idea of still being in the mechanical or electrical engineering field. And I did that for a couple of years. And during that time, I found that I really, really enjoyed computer networking. Now, at this point in time, it wasn't really a popular field. It wasn't like cyber is today. Not many people really wanted to get into it. In fact, most people didn't even know what I did. Now, some people thought that I was a tech wizard and I could fix their VCR from blinking 12 o'clock. If you're above like 35 or 40, you probably know what I'm talking about. They would ask me questions about their computer, how to fix it, and really wasn't great at fixing computers. I understood the architecture and all that, and I guess maybe compared to the general public, I was a girl, but it wasn't something that I really, really was proficient in. But I like the networking aspect of it, and I like the troubleshooting of it. You know, today we have Wireshark. Back then we had, it was a Network General device that did packet captures. Essentially the same thing, but it was a solid device, a single-use device, and that's how I learned about packet captures and troubleshooting TCP, IP, and all this and all that. And the stuff that those in cyber, that's one of the early things that they learn today in order to be able to hack into machines. So I really enjoyed doing this, and I wanted to dive deeper into the network engineering field. That's what it was called at the time. I guess that was really the precursor for cyber. And I wanted an engineering job, and so I applied at a few places and received 2 offers, and one was a very good offer at a place called the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, Tennessee. I knew zero about Tennessee. In fact, when I decided to take the job, a friend of mine joked, he said, you're going to be a paid volunteer now. I had no idea what he was talking about. But it was a very big decision for me to make this leap to the network engineering field. Well, first of all, there was a monetary aspect, because the salary was quite an increase, and also Tennessee was a state. They didn't have a state tax, income tax, like New York did. So definite, and cost of living was much lower, even from the Buffalo area. So you had the opportunity to do this engineering work for a major university, and I thought, you know, at this stage in my life, this was a good thing for me to do. Now, there was a lot of aspects about making that decision. I think one of the hardest things for me was I realized at the time that I was abandoning my career, if you will. My hopes and my dreams of the aerospace field and then the mechanical engineering field. You know, at one point in time I had wanted to fly for the military, and I was in the Air Force, I'd mentioned before, as a C-130 mechanic, was in Desert Storm. I actually had an opportunity while I was working at the University of Buffalo to fill a slot in the National Guard as a tanker pilot. It opened up, my commanding officer was going to recommend me, I had my degree so I could be an officer at that point in time, and it would have been perfect, except for that by that point in time, maybe a little bit burned out from Desert Storm, I'm not sure, but I decided that I was going to fly on my own time and my own dime. And I eventually did that. I'll get to that probably in the next video. But I essentially, at that point in time, that was the first time that I abandoned my primary career goal, which was flying for the military. Then now, by deciding to take the job at the University of Tennessee, I was abandoning my second goal, which was to be a mechanical engineer or some sort of engineer in general.